Hey, Hound Dogs, I'm David Hankins,
And I'm Paul Hankins.
and welcome to On the Air with Power Squared. This week we have live from Anime West, Kurt Zauer, the creator of KG Comics, and currently has a Kickstarter going. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we've never had anybody live from a con before, so it's kind of cool. So tell us what you're doing there.
Well, I've got a artist alley table. I'm selling my first three issues along with prints, original art, metal covers, the whole 9 yards here.
Okay, and this runs through the weekend, or is today the last day, or the first day, or what?
Yeah, today's the first day. It runs all the way through Sunday.
Okay. So we just met about 3 or 4 minutes ago. So you approached us about, well, first about your Kickstarter and then about being on the show. And we support the Kickstarter. Looking forward to getting the PDFs. So how did you find out about us again?
Um, uh, a cover artist I work with, her name's Maud Park, and her husband Mel referred me to you guys. He says that you had a great show, and you would be the ones to talk to try to get on.
Okay, great. No, it's fine. Happy somebody thinks we have a great show.
There it goes.
If you could please make all final purchases and make your way to the nearest exit, thank you.
All right,
All
should
right.
be good now.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where do you live? Where'd you go to school?
I live in the Chicagoland area. I went to school in Madison, Wisconsin. Um, I was in the National Guard for a little over 30 years.
Wow.
I'm
Thanks for your
currently,
service.
yeah, I deployed 3 times. Really enjoyed my time as a National Guardsman. Really miss it. Um, but now I'm still doing my full-time job in IT and slowly working my way into the world of comics.
Okay. So yeah, I was going to ask you. Do you have a day job? Obviously.
Yep, yep. Unfortunately,
Yeah. Well, I understand that too. Yeah.
I'm ready for the artist life. I really am, to be honest.
Yeah. It's a tough one though. What was your favorite comic book growing up?
Ooh, I'd have to say I was a big X-Men fan when I was a kid. At that time, it was Mutant Massacre and uh, Inferno. You know, the big events at that time and the tie-ins. I really enjoyed. Probably, yeah, X-Men. X-Men definitely my favorite as a kid.
Does that influence what you're doing now?
It does. It will. I'm not really. I haven't created a team yet, but eventually I hope to get there. Um, but I was also, ever since like fifth grade, I've been a gamer. I've been a Dungeons and Dragons player. Role-playing games. I grew up on them, and I think that's really a big part of where my stories come from, and just where I get ahead for stories that, and characters. So, yeah, role-playing games have been a big part of my writing. The education, basically, for writing.
So, what made you decide to do your own comic book?
Well, geez, I had all these ideas. I've always enjoyed ancient Egypt and the mythology and the history, and I wanted to have a character from that time period. And I was bouncing off my gaming friends for so long, and they just said, do it, man, pull the trigger. And I did. That was like 2016. I met some artists in Artist Alley, and I also knew that I would be leaving the National Guard soon, so I kind of wanted something to fill that void, to keep me busy, to keep me moving, creative, keep my mind sharp. So yeah, I pulled the trigger. I did a short 12-page black and white, issue back in 2016 with an artist that I met at Artist Alley. I don't know if you know Sajad Shaw.
No. No, there's a
But
lot of people we don't know.
yeah, there's a lot of great artists out
You
there,
can fill a
and
convention floor with people we don't know.
yeah. So yeah, he and I collaborated, and it was just so much fun. So from there, I went on to a full color 32 page issue with a different artist I had met at a show locally here in Illinois.
So, has Spectrus and Sabanian?
Sabanian, yes,
Sabanian. Is that the first book you've done?
correct,
Okay.
yes.
And so, and you've been doing this since 2016?
Yes, off and on. Like I say, I deployed a few times in there with the guards, so you know, it's been off and on, but steady.
Okay. So you have 4 issues out now?
Correct. The fourth one is currently live on Kickstarter.
Right. Are you working on the 5th one already, or are you just?
Yes, my script. Well, I'm probably about 10 pages into the script, and my artist, he's always hungry. So he wants to look even before the editor has had a chance to look at it. So I always tell him, hey, look, this might change, but he's hungry anyway. He wants it. So he's got it. And he's sketching it out too. He actually has a book that's kickstarting himself right now. It's called Cloud Raider Tales, and it's like a 65-page graphic novel, something that he's been working on for a long time. His name's Topper Helmers, really super guy and a great artist.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your process. So you write the script. You said you have an editor.
Yes and no. The last issue I used an editor. This one I'm kind of editing myself. Let's just say that when I started issue 1, I kind of kicked myself in retrospect. You know, I was trying to build a book from scratch, and you know, editors cost money.
Yeah.
And I should have kicked out that extra bit of money to get an editor for my first few issues. But I think I'm going to complete this first story arc, and then when it comes to the trade paperback, I'm going to get an editor and kind of rescript the whole shebang and re-release it in a trade.
Yeah, we just recently did that ourselves. We had a Kickstarter in April.
Yeah.
Through an online printer, Artithmeric, and it was the first 5 issues, which we're personally very tired of.
Yeah, okay.
And so we had already done a graphic novel or a trade paper of that hardback of that 5 issues, and so they wanted to do it again. And so we went through and sort of rewrote a lot of the dialogue, and because the artwork we couldn't, it would be too expensive to redo. So
Right.
we redid the some of the dialogue, and
Yeah.
for like 96 out of 100 pages or whatever, we changed a little bit on. So we understand that process. When you try to make it better and then move on and never look back again, sort of.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and then, you know, for that trade paperback, you kind of give your readers a fresh look, you know,
Right.
a new maybe a smoother read, a fresh read. And yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that.
So you have an artist, or just, and do they do everything, or do they just do the pencils, inks, colors? Yeah.
Yeah, my artist Topper Helmers, he does the pen and inks, and then I have a colorist. His name's Wesley Wong, and he's also local here in the Chicago area. And a big win for him. He colored Wonder Woman Historia issue number 2,
Wow.
which was you know, I was really happy for him that he's on that radar now. So yeah, his colors are pretty amazing, and I'm really lucky to have him on the team, on the book.
Okay, and then somebody else letters it for you, or you do that yourself?
Yeah, I originally had Wes Loker lettering, and then he has kind of gotten involved in in his own projects. I think it's called Unit 44, and so now I've been running with SK, an Aussie guy that's been doing a fantastic job.
It's one of the things we is amazing is that you do a lot of stuff. We've never met our artist in person. We've used her for like 13, no, 17 issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've only.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Well, she lived in Georgia and then Pennsylvania. So we've actually, we've seen her, we talked to her, but we've never actually met her. So it's weird that you could do business with people for years and actually never see them,
Yeah.
meet them, I guess. So tell us about Spectrus and Sabanian.
Okay, it's a supernatural thriller, kind of in the vein of Constantine, or like a kind of a Cullen Bunn flavor to it. Maybe Spectrus is the ghost of Cleopatra's top assassin, that she's lived so long. She's lived into the modern era. She's kind of enacted a plan. She's ready to rejoin the world of the living. Um, but she needs her partner, her associate Sabanian, who is a demon, like a fiery, burning, whirling engine of destruction. The two of them are bound by an ancient curse, so neither of them can really exist without the other. So as Spectrus pushes her way back into the realm of the living, she's got to drag Sabanian along with and figure out how to handle him. So she initially, in the opening part of the story, she's breaking him out of a prison for supernatural threats called Containment Facility 4.
Okay.
And she wants to go down without any violence because she has feelings for the captain of security there, but things don't go as planned, and that's kind of where the story begins.
Okay. So is Spectrus based on somebody in Egyptian mythology, or did you just make this whole thing up?
Yeah, I kind of,
You're allowed. It's okay.
yeah, no, I did make her up, but I kind of got the idea that, the story of Antony and Cleopatra, that they were kind of in a war of words with Rome, and it was most likely discussed between Cleopatra and Antony that they would potentially send an assassin to kill Octavian, was the who later became Caesar Augustus.
Right.
So I thought about that, if you could, and from a military aspect too, imagine you had that mission to go kill an emperor and prevent an invasion. So that's a mission that's basically your entire country is on the line. And if you fail, what would it's kind of that task left undone that is where ghosts come from, So that's kind of my motivator there. I like to play with pieces of history and kind of give them a supernatural tweak.
So this is the fourth book. So and I backed your Kickstarter, so I'll get the PDF, so I'll be able to catch up. But what part of the story? You said this is the story arc. Is this the 4-parter, 5-parter?
Most likely 6. And thank you so much for backing. I appreciate that.
Sure.
But this part of the story, kind of, the first 3 issues are the jailbreak from Containment Facility 4, and this issue slows down a little bit and kind of gives a little backstory. The character Spectrus has freed Sabanian and has kind of enacted her plan to keep him in check. But she's also hoping to make a human connection. She kind of enlisted a college student, a friend, to help her with the escape, at least the last part of it. And she promises to tell her story. And in issue 4, she kind of unravels the story to her of her last days alive in ancient Egypt. But I kind of play with that a little bit, in that her last days are rather horrible, and she conceals quite a bit of the truth in the narration. But the the action in the panels shows what actually
I see.
happens.
So you see what happens, but she's telling sort of a different story.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's interesting. So you said she had somebody from college helped her.
Yeah, her name's Cheska Villanueva. She's a Filipina history student, and kind of their goal is to join this team of badass archaeologists. You know, all these kind of militant history fanatics that go out and retrieve looted artifacts from bad people. So they all want to be on this team, and you know they've all got some military background. The dean of history there is a former Gurkha, um, and so I'm playing a little modern Indiana Jones there as well.
So you get to throw in some of your experience as a National Guardsman.
Yeah, yeah. I work in a little bit of PTSD issues in the opening books, and you know some of the things. You know, I won't say that I've been in combats, but a lot of my friends have been, and they've dealt with things. So, you know, it's something I touch on in the book lightly as well.
Okay. Um, so judging from your website, you're doing a lot of conventions.
Yes, yeah, it's kind of my way to get out of the house. I really need to get out of the house. So yeah, yeah.
Okay. So are you concerned at all about COVID or anything?
I wear my mask at shows generally. I've been doing shows this long and have not had a problem. You know, I stay current on my vaccinations and my boosters. So,
That's good.
uh, you know, no, I take precautions, and you know, there's always a risk, but you know, I want this to grow. I want to be successful as well. So,
Uh, we have a friend Don Wynn who does a lot of conventions, and he's an artist, and he can do commissions and all that sort of stuff. As a writer, you're just selling your existing issues, right? I mean, you
yes.
can't whip up a memo for somebody or anything like that.
No, yeah, no, I'm insanely jealous of the art people that go to a show and make thousands of dollars. You know, but yeah, I make my money $5 at a time at a show.
Are you actually? You don't have to get into. I know with the IRS, are you actually making money doing the shows? Or are you just breaking even, or are you just doing it for the experience and the exposure? Or?
Usually, I make a little bit of money, usually enough to cover. You know, this place is nice because I only live 20 minutes away, so this show I'll make money. But yeah, I'm fine with covering my table fee and food and lodging, which I can almost always do. So, but you know, it's expanding that email list, getting my book into people's hands. That's the primary goal.
Okay. Um, I guess I'll just ask: have you read Power Squared at all, or aware of it at all, or?
I have not. No.
Okay. It hurts a little bit.
It's funny. I don't think, yeah, neither of us have heard of each other until we've done this show.
Well, we could switch. We could exchange emails and join each other's email list if you want to do that.
Yeah, I'd love to check it out. Definitely.
Um, okay, so we'll work on that. So you're also doing a Kickstarter while you're doing this, and as if you weren't busy enough doing the convention. Tell us about the Kickstarter.
The Kickstarter. I think I'm about 8 days in now. It's been doing well. I'm at 79% funded, so it's been going really well. I've expanded my cover, my alternate covers in this one. I'm going with Mog Park, Chris Enot, Anvu, Topper Helmer's his original cover, and MR Gunn, and Ivan Tao. So I'm trying to run with a. Usually I'll go with only about three covers total, but I'm expanding a little bit on this run and seeing how that works. And honestly, it's just a lot of fun working with all these different artists.
Yeah, we've pretty much stuck with just the one cover because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
expensive to put one of these things out. Um, so, have you finished this book, or is this Kickstarter really funding the making of it?
The art is complete. The colors are still being worked, and the lettering is still being worked. But yeah, pretty much as soon as the funding comes through, the book will be complete.
Okay, because I know it's expensive to put together a 20-page book. We
Yes.
do a 20-page book, and I know it's every page costs money. I'm sure you're in the same situation. Um, uh, so, what is your favorite reward on your Kickstarter?
Ooh. Well, I'd have to say, Topper, my artist, he's just a great guy. He'll do sketches, 11 by 17 pencil sketches, and we put them up as original art. And I've sold a couple of those already. And so definitely Topper's art. Uh, uh, he's got different levels. We've got like $120 level and a $350 level. The two $350 level pieces of art, again, they're unique. They're one of a kind, and they're beautiful. And he's working on one more for me too. So, I'm thrilled to see his artwork. So that's definitely my favorite.
So, how big are these pieces of art that he's doing?
They'll be 11 by 17. Yeah, like a standard 3-ply board.
Right. And is he doing this he's already just doing the art and someone's going to buy it, or is you say, I want you to draw this?
Oh no, he just comes up with himself. Yeah.
And are you paying him and then?
He gets well, no, he just does them because he wants to. I have over the years paid him a substantial amount, so I think this is kind of his way to pay me back a little bit,
nice.
or do me that favor. Yeah, it is. It is
Yeah.
really nice. He's a great guy. So
We love our artist, but she charges us for everything.
yeah, I know. I've got some other original art up there too that I split with Christina and some of the other artists as well. And that's the nature of the business.
Okay. So, who do you think is the ideal reader for Spectrus and Sabanian?
Wow, the ideal reader. The ideal reader enjoys a bit of the macabre and the supernatural. Um, like I said, I'm a big Cullen Bunn fan. His Dark Arc was amazing. So if you're kind of into the vampires, ghosts, ancient mythology, magic, and then there's a bit of sword play and gun play in there too. So yeah. So again, probably maybe the Constantine crowd, the Midnight Suns, kind of the supernatural team type crowd would really enjoy Spectrus and Sabanian.
Okay. So, how do you connect with your readers outside of doing cons?
Mostly via email. I have an email roster that I maintain. But really, the face-to-face contact is really my favorite. But my fans have been great with my Kickstarters, and I really appreciate their support. But yeah, primarily via email and social media. I have Instagram and Facebook as well.
Okay. So that's one of the questions: is if somebody wants to find out more about you, how would they get hold of you or follow you or whatever?
They can follow me on Instagram as Kurt Zauer, Zauer, and that's Kurt. And same thing on Facebook.
Okay.
Right.
And you have
I have a Twitter. I have a Twitter, but I don't tweet. So
you also have a website.
Yes, KG Comics,
Yes.
CAGEY Comics. Yeah.
How'd you come up with that name?
Um, that's kind of a secret.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we're here to reveal all.
That's right, because I'm cagey. I don't want to spill things too much.
I see. So you'd have to kill us if you told us.
That's
And you
right.
probably know how to since you're in the National Guard. All right. Well,
And if anyone who happens to be watching this wants to see Anime Midwest, where would they find you?
I'm at table N9.
All right.
all right. Well, appreciate you being on the show.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate people doing this, providing exposure for creators and taking the time to talk with me. I'm very thankful. Thank you.
It's nice to meet you, and again, we'll exchange email lists.
Yeah. And if anyone's watching this on YouTube later and you want to see more conversations like this, subscribe and ring that notification bell. And if you like this one, consider leaving a like.
All right. So until next time, I'm David Hankins,
I'm Paul Hankins.
and you've been on the air with Power Squared. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.